Hello everyone and welcome back to Flo's Corner. So in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make a chocolate high heel. This video will have great tips, so please stay tuned all the way to the end. Just a quick disclaimer, this high heel was only made for video purposes only and not for a customer. So first we're going to start with the star of the show, which is our high heel chocolate mold. I purchased this one on Amazon about 3.5 years ago. They've came a long way from this type of mold. This is almost the same one, but where the circles are, they have magnetic ones now. This one doesn't have any magnets in it where you can actually just stick it together and it stays together. So I'm going to be using some binder clips to keep it together. I will try to put the link down in the description box below if I can find the exact one that I purchased. I'm not sure because it's been 3 years. I'm not sure if it's still on my Amazon order history, but I will try to get you guys right. So as you can see, it is two halves that make one whole. They are clear and plastic and also a little fragile, so you definitely do not want to drop these because they will crack. There are many other high heel molds out there. This one I consider my pump high heel, and I do have another high heel chocolate mold. So here is the other chocolate high heel mold that I have. You can see the shoe on the left is the other one. So here are the binder clips that I'm going to be using. You can purchase these at your dollar store or Walmart. So because this mold is not the magnetic one, I use my binder clips to keep the two halves as one. I've always used this method and it never fails me to keep my shoe together. I like to use these small ones at the bottom, and right there where the ridges are with the circle, I like to take two of the medium-sized binder clips and place them there, and then I use the small ones as the finishing holders. Some may say it looks like overkill putting so much binder clips on it, but trust me, this took some time to know what to do so that my chocolate shoe did not crack or come apart. It's all about trial and error, and trust me, I've done a lot of trials that fail. So this method has definitely worked with me on making my chocolate shoes for my customers. One of my quick tips is to have the binder clips little wings face out because it's easy to remove them when the chocolate high heel is done. But my also greatest tip is to add one more binder clip right here at the corner of the shoe. It just balances the shoe so well when you add that last clip. Before I was adding that last clip, I used to have the shoe balancing on its own with that little circle round platform at the bottom, but I just felt that my chocolate high heel just kept tilting too much. But these clips definitely help. So now you can see this is what it's supposed to look like. I don't care, y'all. I'm telling you, all these clips help me achieve my shoe. You can pull it apart, you can try as much as you can, but it will not come apart, and that's how sturdy it makes my chocolate mold. And that's what you need, because when that baby break after all that hard work, you just want to cry. It's chocolate making time. So here is my little chocolate melting tin. Y'all have seen these in a few of my videos. So I'm going to be using some white chocolate, and I'm going to be using some red candy melts. So y'all know with the chocolate melting pot, you do the bain-marie method, which is a pot of boiling water under it. I'm going to place my chocolate melting tin on top, and I'm going to place the chocolate with a little bit of vegetable oil as my thinner. And then you're going to give it a good stir. You're going to stir just so that the chocolate can start to melt. Try not to over burn your chocolate, y'all, because that is not going to give you the right consistency for your high heel. So I like to just kind of move them around in the pot only until I see that it's starting to all get melted. And then I like to remove it from over the boiling water and just continue to stir. This is a method called tempering your chocolate. A lot of people use thermometers to get the accuracy of the right temperature, but I've honestly been using chocolate for quite some time, so I kind of just know what I want it to look like. Now onto the strawberries. This is completely optional. Honestly, the strawberries just complements the high heels so much. I've honestly made chocolate high heels with strawberries 90% of the time, and I've also had customers that just wanted the chocolate high heel by itself. So all I did was clean them, then inserted some skewers and dried them off, and now I'm going to be dipping some of them in the white chocolate. So pretty much my method is still the same. You just want to dip them in the chocolate and then rotate it until you got a full coverage, and then lift it up and shake off the excess. And I also like to turn it upside down and place it into my styrofoam so that the strawberry doesn't have the smashed look on the back. And then all I did was repeat the same steps for the remainder of the strawberries that I wanted white. Because I am using another color for the remainder of the strawberries and my shoe, you need to stop at this process like I did the white first, because I'm going to add the red candy melts into the chocolate to obtain the pink that I wanted to. So all you do is just melt the white chocolate first, dip your strawberries that you want dipped in that color, and then proceed to make your next chocolate color. So now I'm just adding a little bit more white chocolate, being that I used some for the strawberries, and then I'm going to add the red candy melts to the mixture as well. I was going for more of a deeper pink versus baby pink, and the red and white combo helped me achieve that. So I'm pretty much just doing the same, just letting all of the candy melt and the chocolate come together as one, and then I'm going to remove it and stir on its own. One quick tip to achieving a successful chocolate high heel is to have the batter just a little bit thicker, not too thick where it's not pliable to work, but just something where there's a nice little flow, because if you thin it out so much, it just won't set the layer as great as you want it. So here I'm just dipping the rest of the strawberries in the pink. I wanted white strawberries and pink strawberries to match my shoe. It is up to your discretion on what color you choose to make. I've made so many different color high heel shoes and the possibilities are endless. Quick tip before we start, do not get down on yourself if your chocolate high heel did not plan out like it was supposed to. I've cried many of times, but I've learned that it's all about trial and error, and you're gonna get it someday. Now on to the chocolate high heel making time. Let's go. So all you're going to do is pour your chocolate into the heel. Pour as much as you can, not the whole pot, just enough that you can cover all of the sides and the front and the heel part. Another quick tip I have is to take a skewer, put it in the heel part, because sometimes it doesn't cover all of the heel, so you want to take out all the air bubbles so that all that chocolate gets in there so it can set up nicely. And you just have to rotate all of the chocolate around the sides, around the back, around the front. Just continue to do it a few times just so you can get that chocolate really layering onto that mold, because the most brittle part is to actually not get your chocolate wrapped around correctly. Don't worry about the chocolate getting on the outside of the shoe. You can always wipe that off with a napkin. Now you see the front part right here. You always say, how do I get that part? Because that part can tend to be very fragile as well if it's not layered correctly. So I like to leave that part towards the end, because once I tilt the shoe on a backwards tilt, you're going to want to get all of that chocolate to cover there. Just let it flow into the bowl, back into the other chocolate. Here is what the first layer is going to look like, and then you're going to place it in your freezer for up to 10 minutes. Now that that first layer has hardened, you're going to remove it from the freezer, and now we're going to start on our second layer. You're going to do the same. You're going to pour a lot of chocolate into the shoe, and then we're going to rotate the shoe around so that the chocolate can get on the first layer as much as it can. Focus mainly on the top parts of the shoe, like where the shoe part has the opening, because that is where it is so fragile. So you really want to cover it so much on the top part as much as possible, and rotate it for a few more times, and then place it back into the freezer. I layered this shoe 2 times, but I do recommend layering it 3 times for added stability. The consistency of your chocolate will tell how many times you should layer your chocolate. Too runny, you do need 3 to 4 layers, and just a little bit thick, then you can use 2 to 3. Here I'm just adding some little details on top of the shoe, so I'm just using the rest of my chocolate in my bowl molds and my flower molds. This step is completely optional. I prefer to put my shoe in the freezer for about an hour. If not, you can refrigerate it for up to 2 to 2.5 hours. I'm also going to show you how do you know that your chocolate mold is ready. There is a certain look that I go for that has always helped me in knowing that it is ready to come out. So here you can see the mold and the chocolate has a cloudy look. You can tell that the chocolate has separated from the actual mold, and you know at this step that it is done. You can also look inside the shoe and see that the chocolate is dry and hardened. If not, you can also place your finger inside just to feel that it is not melted. So here is a before shot. You can see that the hue is on the mold is bright pink. You can see that it's still runny. And here is an after when the shoe has separated from the mold a bit and it looks cloudy. Make sure y'all see that cloudiness. I'm telling y'all, it's going to save you from removing the shoe when it is not done. Now you're just going to remove your binder clips. I like to take a knife and kind of separate the molds into two halves like it was before, and then you're going to remove it slowly. Trust me, this part is always the make or break you, because I have separated and saw that it was splitting many of times in the past, and my heart sank every time. So now you want to take the other side and just pull gently until it releases, and then lift up your shoe. Removing the shoe from the mold is always the hardest part. Anything else that you need to do to that shoe is quite simple. Like this part where some of the chocolate had gotten through in the mold, you can just scrape that off with a knife or a spoon or however. Trust me, this part is always the easiest part of doing this high heel. I'm telling y'all. Make sure if you're doing any trimmings to hold the shoe just to give it a little bit more stability, but your done shoe should not need anything to hold it still or balance. It should be just right. You can also choose to trim off the top part of the shoe where the mold is, but I mean, it's honestly my personal opinion. I do it sometimes, but not always. Here you can see that just a little bit came off on the left side of the top part of the shoe, but like I said, normally I would probably trim it off if I wanted it to look good, but this was just video purposes only. So here is my shoe and my strawberries. I decided to decorate my strawberries off camera. If you guys want to know how I did the drizzle, I do have a video out there on how to decorate strawberries, but you can see that my shoe is sitting on its own. I am moving the shoe on my cake turntable, and you can see that the shoe is still balanced. It should not tip over. It should not be wobbly of any kind. You should have a firm shoe up there. If you feel that you wanted to make it a little firmer on a stand, you can place some chocolate at the bottom of the shoe and on the heel so that your shoe does not move. But I really hope this tutorial was helpful. This is the way I make my chocolate high heels. Trust me, I've had a lot of fails in the past, and I found a method that works and continue to work for me. So I hope this inspires you to make chocolate high heels, and look how pretty they can turn out. But I hope to see you all in my next video. Thank you all for watching. Please give this video a like, and any comments and questions you have, just leave it down below. And I see you in my next video. Bye.